Hi everybody, I just wanted to come on and do a quick tip video about ways to stretch and use your die cuts. The die I'm going to be using for this demonstration is the Alterations die by Tim Holtz called Tattered Flowers. Now I'm going to assume that you already have a die cutter like a Big Shot or a Grand Caliber or a Gemini or a Vagabond, and so I'm going to just show you, I'm not going to do a tutorial on how to use a die cutting machine. I'm just going to show you how to stretch your die cuts. So I'm going to assume you've cut out more than one die cut from whatever die you're using, and right here I have a black sheet of paper that I ran through my die cutting machine, and these are the die cuts you get from it. Wonderful, beautiful flowers. Now you can paint, emboss, distress, or do whatever you want with these die cuts, or you can just leave them like this and put them on your layouts or your pages, or use them as embellishments, and that will be fine. But after you cut out your, after you punch out your dies, you still have this sheet of paper, and I call it the offcuts. And you might think, well, that's just garbage, I can't do anything with that. But wait, yes you can. So one thing you can do with your die cuts is use them, the punch outs, and paint, distress, emboss, or do whatever you want with those. That's one, and that's the obvious one. But to stretch it, you'll be able to use this, and it will involve something called fussy cutting. Now fussy cutting, you're going to need at least 2 pairs of scissors. You want a big pair of sharp scissors to just cut out the general shape of each one of these, just to cut around it nicely, leaving a border around all of them. And then you'll go in with your very small, sharp detail scissors and cut around each flower with precision and detail. Now if you have dexterity issues, you may not want to do any fussy cutting, and this tutorial won't work for you. But when you do that, you end up with these outline pieces. Let me just separate them. And as you see, you can even do those a couple of ways. So you can have just a general border around a shape. Here I just cut a circle. You can cut a square, a triangle, a rectangle, or whatever you want to have just a thick shaped border around it. Or you can fussy cut it even further and get these intricate outlines. Now that's 2 ways you can use your die cut. The original intention, that's stretching your die cut by cutting an outline of the die from the offcut. And then if you have another offcut like this, and I'm assuming you would have cut more than just one sheet, you can take something like triple thick, and it's just a very thick glazing material. You can use your finger for this part, rub some triple thick all over this offcut on the front and back, and you end up with something like this, a stencil that you can then use to create wonderful designs on your cards or layouts or backgrounds, and it's pretty sturdy. So that's 3 ways to stretch your die cut: the punch out, an outline, and a stencil. Let's see how that looks in a layout. Just using ordinary typing paper for this demonstration, and here I have some Distress Inks by Tim Holtz. This is the Distress Ink Dauber. For this demonstration I'm using Vintage Photo, Salty Ocean, and Worn Lipstick, but you can use obviously whatever colors you want. You take your stencil, and I'm just going to do one color, I guess. I'll do all of them. And you can, this won't be perfect. This is just to kind of give you an idea. Of what you can do. What's that one? I'm only going to use this dauber for this one because it already has Vintage Photo on it, but I'm just going to go in and use my finger for this demonstration. But anyway, you can see how you have an interesting sort of pattern emerging, and you can use that as a great backdrop or base for your layout or design. Now I have one finished already for you, and this is just a sample. You know, you can do whatever you want. This is just something very basic, blending the different colors and things like that, and I just stuck my finger in the different inks and punched it. You can create nice backgrounds. It doesn't have to be complicated. I used Vintage Photo to distress the edges, and then did an ombre fade in with the Worn Lipstick and the Salty Ocean on opposing sides. So there you have that. Then you can come in and lay your outline pieces anywhere you like. You can go off the page. That will probably add a little bit of interest. And you just layer and position the pieces however you want. You can move them around or do whatever you want until it gets just right for you. And there you have a simple, easy, fantastic layout or backdrop. You will glue all of these down, of course. You can cut it up into ATCs, you can cut it into postcards, or you can do an entire 12 by 12 layout or whatever size layout you need for your project. And it's a simple and easy way to use one die cut and get 3 fabulous elements out of it: a background stencil, an outline, and your regular punch out. I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any videos or requests you'd like to see, leave them below and I would be happy to do a video on it. Thank you for stopping by. See you later.